This is Mary Cross, singer, songwriter, arranger, and producer. And I want to invite you to join On the Sofa with Esther for Tuesday's Words of Wisdom, 8 p.m. GMT, 3 p.m. EST, or 12 p.m. PST. Come along for the ride. You'll be so glad you did.
So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are across the globe. Welcome to a very special On the Sofa with Esther. Well, today with me is Stefano Spigno, a gifted fashion and events photographer, as well as a marketeer of life's most meaningful moments. Stefano has an incredible ability to capture the true essence of life's beautiful sentiments through his lens, and then translate them into poetic words that speak directly to the heart. Today, we'll dive into his world of imagery, storytelling, and creativity, and discover the artistry behind both his photographs and his words. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Esther, for the opportunity to let me join to these amazing things. Like, I'm feeling so excited.
I mean, I've discovered you, I think a couple of months ago, your photography, and I believe we're part of a couple of groups. And just, it's not just the way you capture people and situations through your lens, but then afterwards, you always wrote some incredibly beautiful, sometimes it's just one or two lines and sentences about the image that you've captured. But in those lines, you captured the essence of the person, the situation, and that is a gift in itself. So without further ado, before we dive into your life, Stefano, who is Stefano in a nutshell, in a peanut shell, or a coconut shell?
So basically, when I take pictures, it's something that I can't even explain. It comes to me to be like so natural. And I was a couple of months ago at the African fashion show where everything had started. And when I started taking the picture, I was just feeling myself. I was able to capture the moments of people passing by through the lens, and I was like, I must tell a story. I have to tell their story. Whatever it was like coming up into my mind, it was just something that I wanted to share with all my followers. And when you say that I'm very poetic, I always like being like that. I always so the world in a romantic perspective, in a peaceful perspective, where everything is in harmony with everything. And when it gets for me to have like a beautiful pictures, then it comes into my mind a story that I want to share. And that story has to fit basically the person that has been captured. And is it takes time, and sometimes I spend like hours like to draw something, because I always do my posts for the day before, for the day after, and I want everything to look so perfect, because if it doesn't look like that, I feel like something is missing, and I don't really want to disappoint my followers, especially myself first, because I care about what I do and I love what I do. And but when I finally get to have a match and a synchrony with the pictures and what I tell, then everything open up. And when people like you recognize my work and what I do, it makes it even better, because I feel like I'm doing good. This is the way.
Yes. And when, because I can tell that you love what you do, you speak it from here, it's from here. And the
Yeah.
smile comes on your face, which is brilliant. And how long have you been doing photography? And when did you also realize that you had a gift or a knack for capturing those intimate moments? Because all your images, they look like intimate moments. They might not be intimate moments. It might be something that you've just captured, but you create it, you put it together in such a way that it gives the essence of just that intimate moment.
True. So I define myself as a professional photographer, and I've been into the industry for quite long. But I always consider myself that I've been always a photographer. till the early age when I was like 6 years old. I remember when my mom gifted me like a little camera when I was going out with my friends and schoolmates, and I was always taking pictures like of the zoo, the animals, and I was like, oh, stop, stop, there is an animal, I want to take the pictures. And then I was like, look, this is my work. Once I was like printing the picture because it was like late in 2006 when the pictures must have been printed, and I was going at school and showing all my work, and I was like very proud of myself. And something that I have also to say, and my last exam in high school, basically everyone was like telling something that they were inspired by, probably a drawing where to start the conversation about history, math, and everything. And I started with the pictures. And my math teacher said, great, you are unique. You are the only one who brought pictures at the exam. And yeah, and I was like, yeah, this is what I do. This is what I like. And I want to start like my speech to tell for wherever I were to start from the beginning, which is the pictures that I've taken. And that made me like very satisfied. And I never realized what I wanted to do in high school about my future and in terms of having a career into the photography sector until when I realized this is what makes me happy. And I said, I want to invest in myself. I want to buy a professional camera. I want to do this because I feel like that the world stops and it just me to be in control over everything. The people in front of me, the second that pass through the timeline from me taking the shoots and the people moving. And I feel like it's such a good thing to be in control over the situation, over your actions. And yeah, that's why I decided that I wanted to step into this.
Love it, love it, love it. And I'm just trying to stop myself from doing this because you're doing this, and I tend to do that as well. So no, Esther, you're doing an interview. You can't be swirling around in your chair. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And obviously, from what you've shared so far, Stefano, you can tell that you enjoy your excuse me, you're invested. So just if you can just give us a moment when you are behind the lens. So take for Africa Fashion Week, I was there as well. And I saw some of the posts that you captured. When you're behind the lens, where do you go? How do you feel?
I am in a different like dimensions. Cause in my mind, it's not just what I've in front of me, obviously the people, the landscape or whatever. I got to capture the perfect moment, so I have to wait, and in
Mm,
my mind 100,000 of thoughts goes through. And but once I finally found the second which I shoot the picture and I look at it, I get emotional because the moment I waited to reach that fraction of the picture I wanted and be able to show to the clients, I feel like I have achieved it and they're all happy. But in that case, it takes time and experience. And is and sometimes I have to disconnect to that word because sometimes um, people they want like a fast picture, good, fast, and done. Let's go to the next one. For me, it's not. For me, it's like being there and until when I'm not satisfied as a photographer that I think taking the best shots, I want to be there. I want to give value to the location, to the lights, to the person that I hope that that place would have been good for her, you know? And sometimes like what I say, what makes me different from other photographer, it just like I entertain, I make people to be happy to be with me, to spend time with me. Sometimes people they don't believe in themselves too much, and when they take up pictures, they feel also no like they don't feel beautiful, they don't feel like stunning, and I'm there and say, look, darling, you're stunning. You need to smile because you are in at this moment. If you are not you in the moment, there will be no one else because I wanna you. And then they start smiling, they start posing, and that's my reality. And and it's beautiful. It's beautiful also about the connection that I create me having the camera and the people and the person in front of me, it seems like that everyone else seems, or the world stops. It's just me and the person, and it's beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Have you always had this essence, Stefano? Has this who you are now always been you? Or have you evolved into being able to reach into people's spaces and obviously see where people are at and help them to align, help them to feel comfortable, help them to just be present with you in that moment, in that time that you can capture? Have you always had that essence about you?
I have to be truly honest with you. I think the difference between my new version and the past version of myself is the confidence that I've learned to have. Before I wasn't that confident. Before I used just to be careless about everything. I would just like the work goes on and I go on, but without being like too confident. And then I've decided one day when everything seems to crash, that's something I had to change.
Mm,
I want, you know, when you experience too much pain in your life and you just want to go above that pain and feel in control, because life is not just one color, it's many colors. You want to experience many other emotions and feelings and live your life. And
mm,
I said, I want to be able to live my life without complaining at me being not able to make the most from it. And I start working on myself, self-confidence, self-discipline. I start by booking books, how to socialize with people, how to work with people, how to be a better entrepreneur, how my brain has to work in different circumstances, even under pressure, how to
mm.
breathe, how to speak. And I started reading these books and working on myself so many times. Before, I never been into religion before, but my all my family has like a background where they always go behind God and things. But when things seems to crash, I just trusted the process to let myself being guided by God and pray and say, I don't know if you are existing, but I want you to guide me through something that makes me very happy. And it was a combination of things, trusting God, trusting the process, trusting myself, and putting all the things together, and then follow one path, the
Mm.
unknown path, just to live your life and see step by step how could I've improved. Yes, there was a past version of myself that I wasn't be able to communicate, to entertain, or to even be able to help people to reflect the best version of themselves. And there is this new version of myself that feels so powerful, so happy to do something that makes me happy, and to basically pass over my emotion onto the other person, and that feels unique. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing because I loved it, especially when you started off with say the past version of me. So you've is this hat straight? This hat is irritating me. There's another cap that I wore. I'm supposed to be getting my hair done tomorrow because I look like Bagpuss at the moment on the and but you know when you've got an idea of what it looks like and it's anyway, right. Right. So when you talked about the previous version of yourself, and then you explained the transformation, the transitioning, and it was just really beautiful to hear because then that also shows who you are now and how differently when you look through your lens, how you must see life, how you see others, but also and sometimes I can only assume that you can see some of the pain that you experienced in them. That's why you're able to reach out into those spaces and say, it's okay, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. But the difference is I'm not only a photographer,
Mm.
I'm also a friend. Even though you don't know me, I I want you to succeed. I want everyone to succeed in life because I think other people's happiness It could be other people to succeed. When I'm happy and I'm surrounded by people that always support me, I always want them to feel happy too. And I want to create those moments to reflect in others, you know? It's so good when when you share happiness, people all around you, they feel happy and they forget about all the negativity, you know. And I feel like I'm not only a photographer, because yes, with a good picture you can be happy, but it's just gonna be for a fraction of time. Then you are seeking for another perfection. But be there all along your process, not only as a photographer, but also as your friend. That whenever you need me, you know where to find me. I'll be there, you know? And that is like what makes me unique. And I'm very satisfied, because when most people, they still have to figure out what they want in life and what they want to be and do, I already know, because I went through a lot, I've experienced a lot, and I always question myself.
Mm.
And at the question, when sometimes people ask what who you are, why do you do this, I do this because I'm Stefano and I'm unique and I can make people feel unique and be unique. And it doesn't matter if it's a picture or not, because as I mentioned, picture is just gonna be for a fraction of time. But what is outside the picture, it can last forever.
Wow, this is so wonderfully powerful. I feel like doing that's what young people do when they really like something, you know. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And other than, doing photography, you do marketing. And what else do you do as well, Stefano? What else in your world? So this is more so about you. What are some of your hobbies? What are some of the things you love to do?
Oh my gosh.
Got
uh, I like,
I'm
no,
thinking about.
like is not enough. I
Mm,
love traveling. I love traveling. So I don't know how to say it. I work for this. I work for my own happiness. And when I travel, I feel in contact with nature, Mother Nature, you know?
mm,
I am not that classic tourist. I always try to experience the historical part of every city I go,
absolutely.
or every mountain, every
Yes.
like landscape where people are not nearby.
Mm,
I just like to disconnect myself from people, from society, and be just immersed into nature.
yes.
Uh,
Because
And
it nurtures, it brings about a feeling, it can hold every emotion without you having to say, I need to be held. Absolutely.
yeah, something that I truly believe that helps me a lot is when I am lonely. I create my lonely part, my lonely space where I have to connect with myself. Because when you spend time with people, it's amazing, it's wonderful. But then you need to recreate in your life the time that you have to spend with yourself to regenerate, to be more powerful, you know? Sometimes what I do, I go to the garden barefoot and I touch the ground with my
Yeah,
feet.
you're
And
grounded.
I want to absorb the energy from the grounds, because there is nothing more powerful to be in contact with nature, and when nobody is near you, and when you feel like in contact with nature, then anything else matters, to be honest. And this is, as I mentioned, is what I experience when I go to a good holiday. I'm a solo traveler, and I like to travel by myself
Mhm.
and
Oh,
do
yeah.
crazy things. I don't even use city mapper when I travel or maps. I just like to lose myself in the city and then figure out
Yes.
things by asking people. You know, something that I realized nowadays, when we are connecting to the phone, we disconnect from reality. All the people that pass by us, it could be like an opportunity missed. Rather than like communicate, go back to a different like time when people, they used to ask other people the directions for the restaurants and things. I want to do that. I want to be in contact with myself, no, in touch with myself and with the people I meet. So sometimes I'm always polite when I go on holiday. I say, "Hello, I'm so sorry if I'm disturbing you, but I think I'm lost. Could you like gently tell me where is the direction?" And then it's not about only the direction, it's like the conversation that I create. Like people, they see that I'm a nice person, and they sometimes ask me, "Oh, what are you doing here all by yourself?" And then from a question to another, from another to another, I make my group friends during the holiday. And this is like part of me being in contact with people, even though sometimes I reclaim my lonely part, my lonely space. And it's good. And when you have a camera, everything changes
Mm.
because you get to create an album, a vision of your story, of your holiday. It can be like captured and freeze forever. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. They say variety is the spice of life, Stefano, and you seem to have honed that in your world at this moment in time. And that joy, that zest and zeal for life really comes through. It's actually quite magnetic. And also understanding that when you are in that bubble of energy, you can so give back and share, but also still remain top because you nurture yourself in the midst of all this as well. And I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I feel like I'm ping bouncing off the walls at the moment. Ping, 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 ping. And you were switching, you were doing this, and I was really trying to stop myself so I can do it now. But I just want to just say, keep on keeping on, keep doing the work, because the work that we do on ourselves is so important. And sometimes we might not like the man in the mirror, but it's so important because on the other side, this this way of being is on the other side, and it's sustainable. So in winding down, is there anything you can share with those who watch this interview, something you'd like them to take away with them, just about a little bit more about enjoying life? You feel like you're the male Mary Poppins.
Yeah, I think that I have to go deep down myself and tell to everyone that is watching this video right now in front of that camera, don't forget that you are existing, that you are a beautiful person. And whatever you do, if you are not succeeding right now, it doesn't mean that you will never succeed. Just work on yourself, take everything at the right time, because not everything that you plan is gonna be immediate. Sometimes really good things takes time, and it took me 25 years of my life to be where I am right now. And I never gave up. I went through a lot, and I passed hell, and I emerged to be a better version. And all the time that you look at yourself in the mirror, it's better that you light up pictures of yourself, because you are beautiful and wonderful, and your life matter.
Brilliant, brilliant. And like you, it's taken me probably about the same amount of time to actually reach this plateau. And now I can see the rainbow. That's the thing,
Exactly.
see the rainbow. And there's something about I can't remember which psychologist, but there's something called the wounded healer. And with the wounded healer, you're coming from this deep wounded place. But through that, you find yourself, you find the magic, but it hasn't been easy. But also all those valuable, they say, lessons or experiences, as long as you can understand that they were valuable in some way and you were able to move through it to become the butterfly that you are, that's the nugget of gold that I've taken away from this interview. And I get that journey as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say a huge thank you to Stefano. You can find him on LinkedIn, you can find him on Instagram as well. Is that correct, Stefano?
Correct.
And if you want to feel like a butterfly, if you want to feel that you're in front of a genie, contact this guy and get yourself some pictures done. Um, and all I can say is it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and capturing just a part of your story. Maybe one day we can go into some of those deeper, darker places, because I do, my shows cover all these things. And how did you come through? What were the steps? Because there are people listening to this thinking, wow, I want to know what hell, depends on what you choose to share. I want to know where he's been because
It will be absolutely a pleasure to
yeah,
share. I think like people's stories always matter. Like where I'm right now is just because I've got inspiration from other people's story. And there is nothing to be ashamed about to share your story, who you are, how you become through which story, your past. You know, it's wonderful when you don't feel lonely, but you just belong to someone else's story and you learn from the experience, you move forward. That's me being unique.
Absolutely. And so it's Stefano. Pronounce your surname again.
Stefano.
Stefano.
Correct.
Stefano.
Amazing.
And the surname, Stefano?
Spigno.
Spigno. Stefano Spigno. Did I get that right? Did I get that
Amazingly.
right? Fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Stefano Spigno. And yeah, if you want to capture the essence of who you are, connect with him and you'll see the shift. Thank you and wishing you all the best sincerely.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click the bell icon for notifications on future videos. Thank you for watching.